So rolling again. Wait for the door slam. There it is.
Alrighty, so yeah, we start off with maybe just like some of your best shows, like one or two of your best shows.
Best show for me, the best show I reckon was we played with Millencolin. I'll never forget that Josh called me up, and he was talking around. He'd always call me up and say, "Oh, we got asked to play this show." Normally it was like a skate party or somewhere like play at the underground or something, and he rang me up and he said, "Oh, Craig Armstrong just gave me a call, wants to play a show." I was like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "Oh, with a little band you might know called Millencolin," and I'll never forget just freaking out on the phone, and just like a lot of like, "Are you serious?" and kind of just not believing him, and just freaking out, and just our first like major show we got offered, and it kind of coincided with we somehow got invited to go over to New Zealand with a band from Sydney called Ceasefire. They needed a support band, and Think Tank couldn't do it, and Ceros Cole couldn't do it,
They wanted STR.
Finally they offered it to us, and we could do it. So we headed over there and played about 7 or 8 shows, something like that, in like all around the South Island, I think, and
North Island.
North Island, yeah.
And then, first week of my year 12.
Yeah, and we were back here for about 3 days, I think, and then we played to about 1,000...
1,500.
Let's say 1,500. 1,500 kids at Adelaide Unibar Cloisters, and that was our first like support, and like that's one of the best ones we've had. We haven't played the Cloisters since, and like it's just a really like playing outdoors is like totally different, and it's one of those shows where it was full before we went on. Like everyone was just really into Millencolin at that stage, and it was just really good.
I remember hearing that. That was pumping.
Yeah,
it was pretty crazy for such a young band.
Yeah, there was like a massive vibe around like at that time for you guys.
Yeah.
But then I reckon I've got a tie. My I think up until about a month or two ago, it was my favourite show would have been the Warped Tour in 2002 when we played that, because it was such a. I didn't have very high hopes for it. We found out we were playing last, like after everybody on the local stage, and I was just imagining in my head the local stage, being hard to find around the back of the wherever it was, and having 3 people watching after all the bands had played. But turns out the local stage was like a pretty decent sized stage right next to the exit, and I'm pretty sure 28 Days or.
That was 28 Days played last.
Had just finished over on the main stage, and so everyone came to leave, and all of a sudden, right next to the exit was STR, and suddenly we had like about 3,000 people watching, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, this actually is kind of good," and so that was one of my favourite shows for a long time. But I think probably one of the sweetest shows that I've had is our CD launch for this latest album. It was just such relief just to finally get it out, and to have like we had it at the Adelaide Unibar, and it was pretty packed out, and it was just awesome just to have a room full of people that knew us, that had grown up with us, that kind of I'm assuming kind of liked what we do, and just to be able to play that and play it well, was kind of just a culmination of a long time of hardship sort of thing. So it was one of the biggest sort of relief type shows that we've done, for sure.
Yeah, see, and well, that's pretty much it, I think. So going about sound, like where do you think sound influences? Where do you want the sound sort of going? Like, because obviously your album is like a massive learning experience.
Yeah,
how you would have learnt stacks after that.
I think with our recordings that our first demo and maybe the EP could be described as every song sounding the same, and we've kind of grown into every song sounding quite different on this new album. Like experimenting with a lot of things and just you know, 4 guys in a band growing up over like almost 7 years. We've all been into different things and all contributed to the songs on the album, and I think there's just a lot of experiences there, and I'm not sure where we are going to go from here, but
I think if we were to do another album, going on what's happened so far, I think it would be very interesting. I think we're getting a lot more adventurous as we get older and, you know, more mature in our songwriting and that sort of thing. There's stuff on the album that, as we were recording it, I was just sort of seriously shaking my head going, people are going to hate this. And then the stuff that are the risks that, you know, you think people are going to hate is the ones that the people tend to like the most, you know. So I think if we were to do another one, it would be pretty diverse and pretty...
experimental.
yeah, pretty adventurous, I think. But did you want to talk about the future? Like,
Yeah,
we've got
yeah.
those other bands as well.
Yeah, your future projects and perhaps
Absolutely.
where like your hopes and dreams sort of like for Christian music, sort of stuff, and yeah, that'd be.
Yeah.
I think another thing. I think if we did another album with STR, I think it would probably be a lot more. Not in your face, but I think it would be a lot more honest with our beliefs. I think on the way to doing this album, I think we came to that realization that we have to be true with who we are. It's not about trying to be someone else to you know, to sell a product and to move some units. I think we came to the conclusion that, you know, we remembered why we're in this. So I think if we did another album, it would be a lot more honest about our faith and that sort of thing. But I think just to mix it up, you know, like I've been in this band for, you know, nearly 7 years, so we all the members except for Nath so far have sort of we've all gotten side projects now as well. So our bass player Frawley's just started a band called Lantern Rise. They're doing some sort of different sort of more new school rock sort of stuff, and drummer Gareth has just joined a band called Franchise Life, sort of doing some hard punk sort of stuff. And I've started a band with Dan Jones from Seraph's Cole, another guy named Footy from a band called Stolen Youth, and another guy named Grebs, and we started a band called For God So Loved the World. And I think that's kind of come about as a combination of basically just wanting to kickstart the scene again, I guess. Like, not that we can do that in our own power, but I think just some guys that are actually willing to sort of lay it on the line to get a message across. I think basically that's what Seraphs did when they started, and I think basically, well, bands like Seraphs an embodiment pretty much, and I think that conviction and that boldness is what inspired all of us to start, you know, and all of us to be strong in our faiths in the band and that sort of thing. So I think that's what we're going to try and do with that, you know, just keep it real and keep it
Keep it rocking.
full on.
That would be sick to like have like a new stack of like Christian bands come through. You know?
And
I think it's on the way.
yeah, I really think it
you
is.
hear like a lot of people jamming and stuff. So.
Yeah.